Hey, thanks for tuning in to my channel again. Today is February 18th, 2024, and I am on day 49 of my 90-day carnivore challenge. Those of you who have been with me since day one, you saw me on January the 1st when I introduced myself and told you why I was doing the carnivore diet. I talked about a whole slew of health problems that I've been battling for decades. And so it's already been a fantastic journey. I have gone from 225 pounds to I'm now 205 pounds. So I've lost 20 pounds so far in the first 49 days. But even more important than that, I shared with you in the beginning that I was having to take 4 different prescription medications for my blood pressure twice a day to keep my blood pressure in check. I took clonidine twice a day, metoprolol tartrate twice a day, chlorthalidone, that one was just once a day. And then I took losartan twice a day. And now I am down to managing my blood pressure with 1 losartan pill per day. So that's pretty incredible to be able to stop taking that many medications for my blood pressure in such a short period of time. And then the same thing with my type 2 diabetes. As you know, I was taking Humalog, which is a fast-acting insulin. I would give myself an injection in the stomach before each and every meal. And then my long-acting insulin, the Humalog, the Levemir, I would do that morning and night. First thing in the morning, I'd give myself a shot of that in the stomach. And then at bedtime, I would give myself another injection of that. And then somewhere along the line, my doctor felt like I needed yet another injectable. And he gave me one called Victoza that helps the pancreas create even more insulin. And I believe I was on like day 16 of this journey when I was able to give up all of my type 2 diabetes medication. And it's not like I just woke up one day and said, oh, I think I'll stop taking my type 2 diabetes. My blood pressure got down to 72 at bedtime one night. And so I'm like, if I get any lower than that, that's actually dangerous. So I'm not going to take my nighttime insulin because I just thought it would be silly to take it when I was already low. And then the next morning when I woke up, I was still low. And so I skipped the morning dose of the insulin, and that's where it started. Throughout the day, the blood sugar just never really came up. It came up some to where it wasn't down there at the dangerously low area, but it only came up to about 90, which is actually a perfectly normal blood sugar. So I felt like I didn't need any insulin that day. And it's just carried on day after day after that. And so it really does. It feels like, after 20 or 25 years of having to give myself insulin, to be free from that, there aren't words to express how awesome that is to get that out of my life. And the same thing with all of those blood pressure medications that I was having to take. I had a whole slew of health problems that I have been dealing with. I shared with you in the first week my lab work so that you could see where I was starting, get a snapshot of where I was health-wise in the beginning. And at the end of this 90 days, of course, I'm not going to quit the carnivore diet, but at the end of this 90 days, I'm having my lab work done again from my doctor so that we can go over that and see, the improvements across, my kidney function and things of that sort. So I'm really looking forward to, and I've never in the past looked forward to getting my lab work done because it was always bad news that, I knew it was going to be. I knew what my doctor was going to tell me. So I never looked forward to lab day. And I can't wait. I'm scheduled actually April 1st to go in for my labs, and I can't wait. I think my doctor's going to faint when he sees my triglycerides come down the way that they have, and my EGFR, what is that for the kidneys? Because I have stage 3B kidney disease, And I'm looking for improvement in that as well. And so I'm hoping and praying, keeping my fingers crossed for, fantastic, lab work coming up April 1st. 49 days in, so just a little over halfway, of this 90-day journey, and already it really has changed my life. And I've gone from, when I started out on January 1st, it was doom and gloom. It was, hey, I've got nothing to lose. I'm going to try this because if I don't try something drastic, I'm not going to be around. And my doctor had told me that. And it's always, I've told you before, it's always saddened me that that my kids never got to meet their grandparents on my side. My father and my mom were already passed away before we adopted our 4 children, so they never got to meet them. All they have are the pictures and the stories, and I did not want that. For my kids and my grandkids. I want to know my grandkids. I want to be around. And so that is why I'm doing this. And already it's given me hope that I'm going to be here to meet my grandkids. Energy level is just through the roof. I can't put in words the difference. And the thing is, what I'm realizing now is, before I started this carnivore journey, on what I would consider my good days, because I would have some days, even back when I was very, very sickly, I would have some days where I would get up and say, you know what, I feel pretty good today. And what I'm realizing now is, for many, many, many years, I didn't know what good felt like, because it never felt like this. It never felt like this. And so I'm going to keep going, a day at a time, a week at a time, month at a time, and just keep plugging away. Because, well, I can sit here and look at my blood pressure and my blood sugar, and I can see the results because I've been tracking it from day one of this journey. I can see the results. I see my blood pressures coming down to normal. I see my blood sugars coming down to normal. But the biggest thing is how I feel. And, there's no way to fake that. And, I can, when I get up in the mornings and I'm looking forward to the day rather than dragging through the day, because it really did. It used to be a struggle just to get through the day. And I would get home from work and I literally would have nothing left. I would go in there and, thinking I'm just going to lay down a few minutes, but I can't even tell you how many times I would lay down and fall asleep until supper time. And then after supper, go right back to bed, because I just literally had no energy and just didn't feel good and didn't want to do anything. And now I do. I look for things to do. I've got more energy than I've had, since I was in my 20s. January 1st, I was 225 pounds. Today, I'm 205, which means I've lost 20 pounds on this journey. So, it's the carnivore diet is definitely working for me. I had stalled for a good while. I had experimented with so many different forms of keto diets, where I would allow different things and not allow different things, and even ketovore. And at my highest, my heaviest time, I was 260 pounds. And so I had lost about 40 pounds all the way down to 220. And then I would gain back up to 230 or 240, and then back down to 220 or 225. And it just seemed like I couldn't get below that 220 or 225 on just keto. So that's why I decided to try the carnivore and turn that carbohydrate knob down basically to zero. And so on January 1st, when I decided to do the carnivore diet, I was at 225. Yes, that's a lot better than 260 where I was a few years earlier, but I'm wanting to get under that 200 mark, and for whatever reason, I wasn't able to do that on keto or ketovore. And so this has really given me a jump start again, the carnivore diet, and going from 225 to 205. And I can't wait until I break underneath that 200 mark, because I haven't been under 200 since I was probably 22, 23 years old, and I'm 56 now. So, it's 23 years or so since I've been under 200 pounds, and I can see it now. I mean, it's about to happen. Here in the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna be there. Hey, thank you for joining me on my journey. And those of you who've been here since day one and watched me on my first video, January 1st, and you've tuned in every week, thank you. Your support really does mean a lot to me, and it keeps me going. This channel, keeps me going and motivates me. I look forward to giving my updates every week, and I look forward to many more. So thank you again for joining me on this. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. There's a little bell for alerts under the subscribe button. Hit that, and then you'll know whenever I put my updates up, so that you'll be notified immediately, so that you'll know about it. Hey, thanks again. I look forward to talking to you next week. Bye-bye.